Mapping what is good.
Yeah. Yeah, Subhash Chandra Reddy.
If I may take the liberty, unless we resort to some kind of a systematic thought organization, I think we will be jumping from one issue to the other.
That's what I said.
And we really, I mean, given the constraint of time, I don't think any of us can afford this. If I can keep my thoughts organized, I would think this way, that for agriculture in Telangana, potential of agriculture in Telangana, then we have inputs and outputs. Whatever the inputs may be, water, electricity, all other things, seed, outputs may be the harvested crops, whether it is storage of harvested crops, cold storage, and what other marketing things. So that will be coming under outputs. What are the limiting factors of inputs and outputs? In the short term, in the mid term, in the long term, just like you mentioned. How are we going to tackle that? It is a great idea to be the center of the world for seed production, but then by seed production alone, Telangana cannot survive as much as I would like it to be. Whether it is sugarcane center of the world or cotton center of the world or anything. Because even in the Western developed countries, particularly United States, which is 4 times bigger than United States, India, that China is 4 times bigger, incredible amount of agriculture, incredible amount of technology has been put in. Finally, we all came to the conclusion that, like you said, the traditional way of husbandry, conserving the soil, conserving the environment, has been abandoned. No amount of technology will save us. It doesn't matter what new methods of scientific production, fertilizers, irrigation, as much water as you can get is not going to serve us. Sustainable agriculture is the basic way to do it. So if we are going to sustain agriculture in Telangana, then what inputs are constraining? How can we overcome that problem? And once we produce, how can we efficiently distribute the product, save the product, and make it available to people? So if we don't think along these lines, then what exactly is our objective?
If we get back to the what Goyal ji said, if you become a chief minister or authority to change it, so what would you do to?
I would like to first ask my coterie of friends and advisors, hey, forget about individual districts and parts of the districts, but in general, what are the main constraints? What are the main limiting things that are stopping our farmers from accomplishing their maximum potential? I think water definitely is. Second thing, electricity, power is definitely. Third thing is that inefficient management of the crop produce and inefficient distribution of the crops. These are the 4 constraints that I would think. Now, water, like you said, there is climate change. Then whether we agree that the rainfall has increased or decreased, we definitely don't have enough water. So how do we efficiently use existing amount of water? Then how do we increase the amount of power we have? What I have seen so far, including from the ex-president of India, is we are always thinking about the cost of producing power. But nobody includes all the components of production of power. We always talk about coal power as the major source of power. That's what the cheapest way of producing power, next to hydroelectric. It is not. If you look at the environmental degradation, if you look at the long-term infrastructure development, and if you look at the 10-year periods, lag period, before the thermal plants come into production, it is ridiculously expensive. Besides, we don't even have enough power, enough coal. We found out that we only have about 60% coal that we need. And even the coal we use is not going to be good for us because health-wise, we have really destroyed our health. So the only thing that will come to you in mind is solar power. And the reason I'm raising that is because I have done a fairly good amount of research over the last 4 years. Solar power generation has come from a long way. Now we are able to produce solar power definitely as economically as coal can. If you look at the total cost of
As such, comparison will not be there. Coal is a non-renewable resource.
exactly.
It should not be compared with the solar
But I mean,
power.
when you talk about economics,
And that is going to be exhausted. If not this year, another 40 years, 50 years, it is going to be exhausted.
yes,
And
definitely.
we will not depend on coal.
Right.
A renewable resource dependence is always better.
Right.
But this problem is not same for Telangana. But the point is that this problem is everybody's problem. So let us concentrate on what Telangana needs.
Telangana itself, we don't have enough power. Right? See, even though we have thermal,
Telangana important power is because we do not have projects. Even if the projects come, lift irrigation, there also power is required. So most of the open wells,
Also, it's a very
tube wells.
point well taken.
Yeah.
This problem for the whole country is Telangana.
Okay.
Yes.
Problem లేదంటే ఎట్లా? అది challenge. Point చాలా కష్టం.
ఇప్పుడు ఎట్లయిపోయిందండి I'm looking at the farmers.
Singareni, after 20 years, will be digging only the matti, not bogu. అదే నా బాధ. This point well taken.
If you look at the way the power is generated, it is inconsistent. It is not over a long period, because if you took a look at the way that we have completely gone bonkers. Recently, I'm sorry,
No, not sorry.
if you look at the Indian government has given permission to Lanco and GMR and all these people to produce power plants. They produced 3 natural gas-based power plants. None of them are producing power because there is no gas allocated to them. On top of it, now there is another 14,000 crores that they have now allocated, thanks to Kiran Kumar Reddy's wisdom. There is no gas to the existing power plants. Now he has said we are going to have another 3 power plants which are based on gas. I mean, how idiotic can we be?
Yes, sir. Power లేదు అది గ్యాస్ ఎంత అంటే కరెక్ట్ అంత గ్యాసే
Yes.
Gas. Gas. Exactly.
What I suggest is, before we break for lunch,
So in terms of solar power, the beauty is it can be distributed and it can be completely independent.
please.
Yeah.
No, is that technology, affordable technology has come in solar.
Affordable technology, the maintenance is minimal. The plant can generate. The plant does not have to be commercial. It can be on your roof end. It can be on your farm.
Decentralized power generation.
Totally decentralized, or it can also be centralized.
Whereas we have highly centralized power generation.
Initial investment, is it affordable?
Engine investment is very much affordable. ఇప్పుడు ఎట్లుందంటే solar is not the only source of power. We will still be producing our coal-based project. But the 40-50% of power can be coming from solar.
Respect his
Supplement.
ideas, sir. Whole Telangana will not be seed capital. But the very concept that seed can become something unique to do value addition to farmers' income is an important idea. Similarly, the solar will not that the whole Telangana will have a solar sheet and not idea. But the point is that yes, wherever it is available, we shall do that also. The idea is great, sir.
And many of the farmers, because I have been involved as both farmer and agriculture student and agriculture scientist and then a computer scientist. Invariably ఏమైపోయిందంటే our power is most
No.
quality wise is the worst power in the world. మన voltage from 140 నుంచి 280 వరకు. In the process, my own friends, farmers and everything, వాళ్ళ pumps and burn అవుతాయి.
Transient, they are transients. They call
Transient.
Yes.
See, there is no control. And then of course, ఇది ఏమవుతుందంటే మీకు క్వాలిటీ ఆఫ్ పవర్ బ్యాడ్ ఉండబట్టి ఒకటేమో మీకు ఎప్పుడు అవసరం ఉంటే అప్పుడు అవైలబుల్ కాదు, ఇంకోటి అవసరం ఉన్నప్పుడు వచ్చినా కూడా దాంతో ఇప్పుడు మన రెఫ్రిజరేటర్లు అన్నిటికీ ఎందుకు మనం పెట్టున్నాం, బికాస్ దే ఆర్ బర్నింగ్ అప్ దిస్ థింగ్. ఇవన్నీ కాస్ట్ యాడ్ చేస్తే మీకు సోలార్ పవర్ ఇస్ డాన్ చీప్. బికాస్ యాక్చువల్లీ నేను ఇవన్నీ ఐ కెన్ సెట్ అప్ మోస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ది places farmers are using 5 HP pumps where they only need 2 to 3. They don't need 5 HP. Nobody calculates the head of the well, nobody calculates what is the output of water. I mean, I'm talking about people, I spoke to electrical engineers, I spoke to consultants, they do not even spend any time. We can only use half the size of the pumps, which means you don't need as much energy. Second thing, for DC pumps, AC pumps ku half capacity is burn ga. ఇంకొకటి నేను క్యాల్కులేట్ చేసిన ఒక ఫార్మర్కు వెళ్ళు ఉంటే మంచి వెళ్ళు ఉంటే అక్కడ నేను ఒక చిన్న షెడ్ వేసి చిన్న మన సోలార్ 4 ప్యానల్స్ పెడితే ఇట్ జనరేట్స్ ఎనఫ్ ఎలక్ట్రిసిటీ టు టేక్ కేర్ ఆఫ్ ద ప్రాబ్లమ్ అండ్ దేర్ ఇస్ నో ఆల్ ది ఎలక్ట్రిసిటీ యూ నీడ్ ఈజ్ ఓన్లీ డే టైమ్ యూ డోంట్ నీడ్ ఎనీ బ్యాటరీ యూ డోంట్ నీడ్ టు స్టోర్ ఎనీ it will generate enough power to run the damn thing. And if you compare the burning of the pumps, unavailability of electricity, the crops burning because there is no water that he could irrigate, this darn thing is so cheap, so much more. ఇప్పుడు ఎట్లుందంటే మన భోజనం పెట్టి
ఇది బాగానే ఉంది, but why it is not coming to the farmers?
The problem is that
non-conventional energy resource companies are government of